Welcome to Revit. This is the Revit 2014. So if you have anything beyond 2014, it's going to be kind of the same thing, but not exactly the same thing. To begin with, we open up Revit and we go down to where it says Projects, and we're going to go to an architectural template. The reason we use an architectural template is because it has many of the defaults in there that we need so that it becomes easy for us to design. To begin with, you're going to notice a couple of things, and I'd like to go through each of these things that you see that are popping up here. This capital R stands for Revit, and this is where you can start and do a lot of different things. You can open a new file, create a new file, save as. You might need to export this. I never use Suite Overflows, Publish. You can print here. Licensings are here, and of course, if you want to close out the program, you can close out here. It's just one of those things you can do. Underneath here, you'll see about an arrow that says Modify, and a lot of times, if I am stuck in somewhere and I'm like things are going crazy, I'll go to Modify and click there, and that just kind of brings me back to normal. You can tell that every time I hover over any of these things, a gray box pops up, and that gray box is going to give me some really good information. So here in Windows, it just explains what the window looks like and how the best way to put it in there. So it's always a good thing that if you have time, just kind of look over this stuff. The most important things in most Microsoft products are all up here in the upper left-hand corner, and this is where we do most of our work. Not all of it, but most of it. So we start around here. These tabs underneath here, we have the Architecture tab, which is the most important tab. The Structure tab, which I very rarely use. Systems, Insert, Annotate, Analyze, Massing and Cite, Collaborate, View, Manage, and Modify. The tabs that I use the most is, of course, the Architecture tab, and I also use the View tab. As you go down here, you'll see these arrows, and if I go to these arrows, those arrows will give me selections if I want an architectural wall, a structural wall, or a wall by face. For the most part, we're designing, and so we want almost always architectural components. Now I look here, and this is entitled the Property menu, and the properties tell you about the different stuff that's in here and what the defaults are. So right now I'm on a floor plan level 1. I have some graphics in here. It tells me that 1/8 inch equals 1 foot. My display is normal. My detail level is coarse, which means it's not fine. It means it's just it's a sloppy copy essentially. Visibility, graphic display, and I can just scroll down here and see what this particular default is saying for this particular floor plan level 1. This right here is my project browser, and this is important because I can browse around my project. You can see I have level 1, level 2, I might have a ceiling plan, I can do elevations in here, I can put in legends, schedules, all kinds of fun things that I can add in my project browser. In the design process, I typically just use my properties menu, and I also, of course, use my panels up here. So that's a quick introduction to the tabs on Revit.